Timothy had a mind that never rested. Even when the world around him was quiet, his thoughts were loud, racing, circling, questioning everything. What if I fail? What if I choose wrong? What if something goes wrong tomorrow? His mind was like a crowded marketplace, full of noise, arguments, and restless movement. People in his village admired his intelligence, but they also noticed something else. Timothy was never truly present. When others laughed, he analyzed. When others enjoyed the sunset, he worried about the next sunrise. One day, after another sleepless night, Timothy heard about an old wise man who lived high in the mountains. People said the man possessed a rare gift, the ability to bring peace to even the most troubled minds. Timothy didn't hesitate. At dawn, he packed a small bag and began his journey. The path to the mountains was long and exhausting. He crossed narrow trails, passed through dense forests, and climbed steep rocky hills. Yet even in such a beautiful place, his thoughts never stopped. What if the man can't help me? What if this journey is a waste of time? By the time Timothy reached the small hut at the top of the mountain, his mind was even more tired than his body. The old man was sitting outside, calm and still, as if time itself had slowed down around him. "You've come a long way," the old man said gently, without even looking up. Timothy was surprised. "Yes, I came because I can't stop thinking. My mind is always full. I want peace." The old man finally looked at him and smiled. "Good, then you are ready." Expected advice, perhaps a long speech or some complicated wisdom. But instead, the old man stood up, walked into his hut, and returned with a small candle. He lit it carefully and placed it into Timothy's hands. "I want you to walk through the village down the mountain," the old man said. "Protect this flame. No matter what happens, do not let it go out." Frowned slightly. That's all, the old man replied. Timothy began his descent, holding the candle carefully in front of him. At first, it seemed simple, but as he walked further, the wind began to pick up. It wasn't strong, but it was enough to threaten the fragile flame. Timothy immediately focused all his attention on the candle. He cupped his hands around it. He adjusted his steps. He watched every movement of the flame. As he entered the village, there were people everywhere, children laughing, merchants calling out, music playing in the distance. Normally, Timothy would have been distracted by everything. His mind would have jumped from one thought to another. But this time, something was different. He didn't think about the people. He didn't think about the sounds. He didn't even think about himself. All his attention was on the flame. A gust of wind came, he shielded it. Someone bumped into him, he steadied his hands. A loud noise echoed, he didn't react. Step by step, breath by breath, he moved forward with complete focus. For the first time in his life, his mind was quiet. After some time, Timothy reached the end of the village and made his way back up the mountain. When he arrived, the old man was waiting. The candle was still burning. The old man nodded. "Well done," smiled proudly. "It was harder than I thought." The old man tilted his head slightly. "Tell me, Timothy. On your way through the village, did you see the colorful market?" Timothy paused. "No." "Did you hear the musicians playing near the fountain?" "No." "Did you notice the children dancing in the streets?" Timothy slowly shook his head. I didn't see anything. I was too focused on the candle." The old man smiled, his eyes full of quiet understanding. "Exactly." Looked confused. "But what does that mean?" The old man sat down and gestured for Timothy to do the same. "You believe your problem is that your mind is too full," the old man said. "But that is not the real issue. Listen closely. The problem is that your attention is scattered. Your mind jumps from one thought to another like a leaf in the wind. That is why you feel overwhelmed." He pointed at the candle. "When you held the flame, your attention had only one place to go. You were not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. You were simply present." Eyes widened slightly. "So, emptying the mind doesn't mean stopping thoughts?" The old man shook his head gently. "No, that is impossible. Thoughts will always come, but you can choose where to place your attention." Leaned closer. "When your attention is fully in the present moment, your mind becomes quiet on its own, not because there are no thoughts, but because you are no longer lost in them." Sat in silence, letting the words sink in. "The secret," the old man continued, "is not to fight your thoughts, but to stop following them. Focus on what is in front of you, your breath, your steps, your actions, like the flame." Looked at the candle again, now understanding what it truly represented. For the first time, he said slowly, my mind felt peaceful. The old man nodded. Because for the first time you were not inside it. Stayed with the old man for a while longer, practicing this new way of being. He learned to focus on simple things, the sound of the wind, the feeling of his breath, the rhythm of his steps. And slowly the constant noise inside him began to fade. Not completely, but enough for him to feel alive again. When it was time to leave, Timothy thanked the old man deeply. As he walked back down the mountain, something had changed. The same path was there, but it felt different. He noticed the sunlight filtering through the trees. He heard birds singing in the distance. He felt the ground beneath his feet. And for once, he wasn't lost in thought. He was simply there, present, alive, free. Moral of the story: you don't need to silence your thoughts to find peace. You only need to stop chasing them. When you focus fully on the present moment, the mind naturally becomes still, and life reveals its true beauty.